take the iPad. Oh, what happened? I don't understand why. Yeah. Okay, concurrently. What's the problem? Test 1, 2, 3. Test. Okay. Okay, this one. Right, same. Select from YouTube. Create event EE111. Okay, EE111. These. All right. Okay. Yes, I think everything is fine. All right. Go. Bye. And what else? Like this, and just let's go ahead with that. And there's nothing more, right? Test 1, 2, 3. Okay, เสียงมานะครับ and then we need to throw away file ไปที่ Steam Lab เช็คSteam Lab เดี๋ยว yes save oh Steam Lab it's education and ยังดีนะโอเคน่าจะได้นะ 11 it's no it's not should not be private should not be private you may no not private it's public it's also public okay and okay we have to throw away the file right oh. Switch the account we have to throw away the file EE111 lecture EE1, no, yep, 2 of second semester, and we go to the end of 10. We throw away the last one, vector to iPad. Okay, come in. Yes, is the type. We save it to lecture here and to EE111 third chapter section. Right, okay, February 10, okay, and this one, close everything, import the SWU lecture 111 this one, okay ครับผมไม่เข้าใจว่าทำไมเสียบแบตแล้วไฟไม่เข้าครับกดขออนุญาตถอดสายนิดนึงครับเดี๋ยวแบต iPad หมดนะครับWhat's the problem? Theseไม่รู้เข้าให้หรือเปล่าไฟก็ยังไม่เข้านะครับไม่รู้สายหรืออะไรนะครับมาครับไฟก็ยังไม่เข้าครับ Oh that's the big story All right. ก็ยังไม่เข้านะครับ ไม่รู้เป็นไร เราจะรอด3 ชั่วโมงหรือเปล่านี่เป็นไรอะไฟไม่เข้า iPad What's the problem ไฟไม่เข้า iPad นะครับ โอ้นี่มันสาย MacBook It's not the one I found. No. Bring it. Mm. Mm. Sec. ก็ของ Mac ก็ยังไม่เข้านะครับ เป็นอะไรของเขานี่ What's the point แป๊บนึงครับผมถามดูเข้าแล้วอ๋อมันเป็นที่เสียบที่เครื่องนี่เองครับโอ้ my god เสียบตรงนี้ไม่แน่นเองหรือเปล่าโอเคเข้าแล้วนะครับขออภัยด้วย my god okay we have 3 choices right now okay good afternoon everybody we are late for 20 minutes and this is the section for no it's EE111 right EE111 on the third chapter นะครับเกิดจากการเสียบตรงนี้ไม่แน่นเองผมผิดเองครับโอ้ all right yes let's go ahead with our story Not sure. Impossible too. Okay. Yes, on the third chapter, we will start with the cross product of unit vectors in Cartesian coordinates. Here we will talk about the the cross product has been considered before with you, right, last time, and this time we will see another aspect of the cross product in terms of matrix. And yes, the next topic is the magnitude of the cross product, and the next one is the distance between a point and a line. You have seen already the distance between the point and the plane, right? But this one is quite easier. The next one is the intersection of two planes. This is what you may have already seen in 3 cases, right? But we will see the case when two planes really intersect each other. And the next one is now we will change the coordinates. What you have seen before is the coordinate, the rectangular coordinate, right, or the Cartesian coordinate. But this time we will see the 2 new Cartesian coordinate, and that's the cylindrical coordinates. We are going to change the coordinate from the Cartesian coordinate to cylindrical coordinates, and vice versa in the opposite way. If you have some points in the cylindrical coordinates and you may want to see the points in rectangular coordinate in the conventional way, how could we find the point in Cartesian coordinate back, right? And last one is the spherical coordinates, which is I cannot remember exactly, theta phi or something like that. And yeah, that's the possible way for the Cartesian coordinates. Oh, I'm sorry for that. We need to close. All right. Yes, we are gonna consider the last coordinate, which is the spherical coordinate, or is based on the sphere actually. All right. In this case, we will go ahead with these several topics. You may see some intersection, actually the same topics that you have seen before in the previous chapter, right? Okay, let's go ahead with that. Here, the first one is the cross product of the unit vectors in Cartesian coordinate. Let's visit that. Yes, you may have seen before, right? The Cartesian coordinate for any determinant would start. Let's write down. This is B07. B07 on 10.02.2022, right? Okay. Yes, let's start the determinant right? The cross product of the unit vectors. And what is that? The cross product of the unit vector is the following. If you have all right, if you have the stuff like the first problem, okay, let's talk about the cross product of unit vectors. All right, for the first problem, you are dealing with I cross J, right? What is I cross J? And actually, if you, there are many ways to solve this one. You could see that this is the vector I along the x-axis, and here is the j vector, right, along the y-axis. And if you curl your hand, you rotate your hand from vector I to vector j, and you will see the vector, the third vector, which is vector k, and here is the answer actually. Okay, if you use your right hand rule, okay, if you use your right hand,ถ้าใครดูที่พวกที่เป็นถ่ายจากหน้าจอนะครับจะเห็นมือผมนะผมจะหมุนมือขวาให้นะครับ okay, from I to J you will see, you'll be able to see the result, okay, and that's the outcome, the vector k. alright, อย่างเมทาวีนะครับเขาดูที่นั่นครับ and what else, the next one, right, next one is the typical way, right? We use I cross J, right? You start from this. In the conventional way, you start from this is unit vector along the x-axis, this is the unit vector along the y-axis, this is the unit vector along the z-axis, right? All right, and yes, I used the wrong headphone. Okay, hello, test 1 2 3. Okay, if you want to go ahead with the typical way, in the conventional way, right? Well, it's also possible. All right, here you have the determinant, right? And the next one on the second line or second row, sorry, this is the first row. For the second row, you have to write down here I onto the second row, right? But as you know, usually I unit vector I is denoted by the vector like this, 1, 0, 0, or you can also write it like this, 1, 0, 0, 0. Okay, and the unit vector J is given by 0, 1, 0, and unit vector like this. All right, here. Okay, and yeah, for us on the second row here in this matrix, in the determinant, we're gonna write down here 1, 0, 0 to that. All right, let's say we use this color. Okay, 1, 0, 0, and for the vector J, unit vector J, which is 0, which contains 0, 1, 0. Right, so we write down let's say 0, 0. Oh, sorry for that. 0, 1 0. So now it's time for you to make the computation of these determinant, right? We calculate the determinant right now. All right. Yes, of course, you could see here that this will give you 0, right? 0i, and here 0j with this one. And for k will reach 1 1, right? K 1 1. All right, K 1 1, K 1 1. So we write down here K only, and along the we go upright, okay, 0 0 K, so we have nothing to write. 1 0 and I, it still give us 0, so there is nothing to write down, right? Okay, and the next one is 1 0 I, nothing, right? 0 and 1j, so it will give us 0 2, right? So there is nothing more. The only one term that appears is only k. All right, I hope that it's not too difficult for you, and we get k as the answer. All right, and that's why we have here the same thing. If you use your right hand rule, this is the way you use right hand rule. Okay, this is what you may have seen during your high school. Okay, during your high school, you may have seen the right hand rule before, right? And let's talk about the second question, J cross K. Any of you have any idea about J cross K? What do you think then, J cross K, what should it be? What should J cross B be? Yeah. What do you think then? J cross B has a second problem. The second problem says J cross, no, not J cross B, J cross K, I'm sorry for that. J cross K is equal to what do you think then? เป็นอะไรดีครับ J cross K ครับ What do you think then? What should J cross K be? คิดว่าน่าจะเป็นอะไรดี someone say or chat, right? Someone say something. It should be I. Okay, การชนกอ้อมนะครับ การชนกอ้อม say it should be I. The answer should be I. I'm not sure. But anyway, if you take a look at the camera version, ถ้าใครดูที่ช่องพวก Streamlab นะครับ หรือว่า OBS2 ครับ ที่ใช้รูปจากกล้องนะครับ จะเห็นมือผมนะครับ Okay, you curl your finger from J to K, okay, by using your right hand. You lift your four fingers starting from J to K, and you're gonna see that your thumb direction will point to the direction of I. So that's the answer. Okay, the direction of I is the answer to this cross product. All right, so yeah, from the right hand rule you get easily the unit vector I. Okay, but if you wanna calculate it in the determinant form, you may start from here. J cross K will be, what is that? Of course, we know that the unit vector K, how could we represent it? It's given by 0, 0, 1, right? Or in terms of vector in linear algebra, it's given by 0, 0, and 1. All right. And that's the way we typically represent unit vector K. And for us, in determinant of cross product, we're going to have here unit vector I, unit vector J, and the last one is unit vector K. Okay, and we're going to write down the first vector, right? The first vector right here is the unit vector J. So it's 0, 1, 0. We write down here 0, 1, 0, right? And the second vector, which is vector K will be 0, 0, 1. Okay, all right, 0. Oh, sorry for that. We have to use the green one. Right. Okay, this is unit vector K, right? On the third row, we're gonna write down here 0, 0, 1. 0, 0, 1. And let's go ahead with the determinant computation. What do you think then? Determinant computation. What should it be then? Of course, if you go ahead like this, you have I, unit vector I, and 1, 1, right? So it's gonna remain only unit vector I. All right. And if you go like this, J0 and 0 is nothing. It's only 0. And K 0, 0 is gonna remain 0, right? And if you go upright, it's 0, 1, K. So it's 0, right? Because if we have only a single 0, we would end up with 0. All right. And the next one, will be the next one will be 0, and here we have also 0, 0, I, right? 1, 0, J, so there's nothing. The answer is simply unit vector I, all right, which is the same thing as you have got from the right hand rule. All right, it's not difficult, right? ไม่ยากเกินไปนะครับโอเคมาก I hope it's not too difficult for you หรือว่ายากไปครับไม่ยากนะ and what else I hope it's not too difficult for you. All right, let's consider the third problem, which is K cross I. Let's see what is it should be black. So the third problem is unit vector K cross unit vector I. What is that then? Okay, there are two ways as usual. The first way is that you just use your right hand rule. Okay, everybody has your own, has his or her own right hand, right? You start from K to I, right? You rotate your 4 fingers from K to I, right? You rotate your 4 fingers from K to I, you will get direction of the outcome right here. And that corresponds to the direction of the unit vector J. Okay, so K cross I is going to remain unit vector J. All right, and if you want to find it in determinant form, it's also possible. K cross I, right? And that's the determinant starting on the first row with unit vector I along the x-axis, unit vector j along the y-axis, unit vector k along the z-axis. And on the second row we start with the unit vector k. So we will write down unit vector k, right? So it's 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1. And after that, on the third row, we're gonna write down description of unit vector I. Okay, unit vector I is 1, 0, 0. So we write down here 1, 0, 0. And after that, you compute the determinant, right? The determinant will be 1, 0, 0 right here. Okay, so it's gonna remain 0. There's nothing to write. J1, 1. Okay, J1 and 1. So we have J right here. And after that, K 0, 0. So it's still 0. Okay, because we have 2 times of 0. And after that, we go up right, which is 1, 0, K. So it remains 0. Okay, 1, 0, K, 0, 1, I. What is that? It's gonna remain also 0, right? 0, 1, and I. 0, 0, J is remain 0. All right, so in the same way, we got the same answer. K cross I is equal. K cross I equal to J. Okay, whether by using the right hand rule or either by using the determinant. Okay, you get the same thing. All right, so I hope everyone could solve this problem. It's not too difficult, right? It's not too difficult. And let me ask you. What happened if we consider the fourth problem, J cross I? What is the outcome then? The fourth problem, J cross I, and what is that? You can use any method, whether it's right hand rule or determinant, up to you. Okay, what is the outcome, the result from J cross I? J cross I, what should it be then นะครับ J คูณด้วย J คูณแบบ cross นะครับคูณแบบกากบาทกับ I ได้เท่าไหร่ครับ Any idea to that? Any idea? It's negative K from Ganjanok. Okay, Ganjanok say it's equal to negative K. I don't know which method, but she say negative K. Ganjanok say negative K from Zoom. Okay, she's right now in Zoom. Yeah, she said negative K. Okay, what do you think? Any other idea? Whether you are in YouTube or in any medium, you can also deliver the answer, up to you. นะครับคิดว่าเป็นเท่าไหร่ What do you think? How could we arrive at negative K then? J cross I เป็นอะไรครับมันควรจะเป็นอะไรยังไงมันมาได้อย่างไร all right. What do you think? ไม่ได้ใช้ไม่ได้เลย Safari ใช้ไม่ได้ Chrome แล้วกันนะ So how could we arrive at the negative k in this scenario? Okay, the first way is that you may consider the right hand rule. You may consider the right hand rule again. Okay, the right hand rule from J to I, right? If you cross your forefinger from J to I, so this one, right? If you cross your forefinger from J to I, right, and your thumb direction will point downward. So downward means the opposite direction to the unit vector k. So the answer should be negative k, right? From the right hand rule. Okay, the first method is it's negative unit vector k from the right hand rule. All right. I hope it's not too difficult to you นะครับคิดว่าไม่น่ายากเกินไปนะครับสำหรับคุณนะครับ all right I hope it's not too difficult to you นะครับยากไปไหมไม่ยากนะ and what about the determinant computation for J and I? How could we form up then? J cross I will be first unit vector I, unit vector J, unit vector K, right? And yeah, the first vector is the vector J. Vector J is denoted by 0, 1, 0. So we're gonna write down uh, 0, 1, 0. And the second vector is unit vector I. Unit vector I is denoted by 1, 0, 0. So we write down 1, 0, 0, and for determinant computation, you would see that I 1, 0, right, is going to remain 0, right? And J 0, 1 is nothing, it's also remains 0, all right? K 0, 0 is nothing, right? And upright, once we go upright, here we have 1, 1K. Upright 1, 1K, but once you go upright, it should be negative, right? So it's negative vector K. And what else? 0, 0, I is nothing, it's gonna remain also 0. 0, 0, J will bring also 0 to us. So there is only a single term that is not 0, that is non-zero, and this one, right, which is negative k. Okay, negative k is the answer, so which is the same as the result from the right hand rule. Okay, I hope that you would be proficient, you would be fluent in cross product, right? คิดว่าทุกคนน่าจะพอเป็นแล้วนะครับ cross product. Okay, the fifth problem is k cross j. K cross j, what do you think then? K cross j, what should it be in this scenario? K k cross j เป็นเท่าไหร่ดีครับวันนี้ k cross j คนอื่นตอบได้ไหมครับคนอื่นจะตอบบ้างไหมมีบ้างไหมครับมีคนอื่นจะตอบบ้างไหมครับ Any idea to that?ตอบเท่าไหร่ดีครับ k cross j คนอื่นว่าอย่างไร What should it be then? k cross j k cross j negative I from Varanya. Okay, Varanya say Varanya says negative I. Any idea to that? Okay, ชนพรด้วยนะครับชนพรก็บอกว่า negative I นะครับนักกิจที่ Steam Lab นะครับก็บอกว่าnegative I ชนพรalso say negative I and not git also say negative I. Any other idea to that? มีไหมครับคนอื่นจะตอบเป็นอย่างอื่นผมงงว่าอันนี้ทำไมไม่ไปgo live YouTube start a shuttle event Any idea negative I มีใครจะตอบเป็นอย่างอื่นครับ negative I ส่วนใหญ่ตอบ negative I กันทั้งนั้นครับโอ้เงียบนิ่งเลย Let's get back to our yeah okay if you look at Cartesian coordinate and k cross j right k cross j you start from k to j right and of course you start from k you use your right hand start from k you curl your forefinger from k to j by using your right hand and the thumb direction is going to point in this way right and this way will be in the opposite direction to unit vector I so it's negative I right so it's at least it's correct here for the determinant computation k cross j will be unit vector I unit vector j unit vector k and of course k could be written as the first vector could be written as 0 0 1 right because we have here k 0 0 1 and what about j will be 0 1 0 okay we write down 0 1 0, and the result will be what is that? We take a look at this. It's 0, I0, 0 is only 0. J1, 0, so it's going to remain 0. K0, 1 will bring us also 0. And go upright. 0, 0K is nothing, right? 1, 1I is I, but once we go upright, it should be negative. So this one we have negative I. All right. And 0, 0J is nothing. It's only 0. So the answer is negative I. Okay, for K cross J. What about the sixth one? The sixth problem. Sixth problem is something about I cross K. I cross unit vector K. And what is that? The value for this cross product. What do you think then? ต้องเป็นอะไรดีครับอันนี้ I cross K โอ้โหอันนี้นิ่งไปเลยกดอะไรกันค้างครับ I cross K. What do you think in this scenario? คิดว่าควรเป็นอะไรครับ I cross K. So what do you think then? I cross K. I cross K สัตถิตาสัตถิตาก็บอกว่า negative I ด้วยนะ1354นะสัตถิตาตรงนี้นะสัตถิตา also say negative I, right? Okay, what about this problem? I cross K. Sattita say negative J. Okay. Sattita say negative J. Any other idea? Shanapon say negative J from the YouTube. Shanapon negative J. And Natkit also say Natkit says negative J. Anyone else? No one more, right? No one more. Walanya also say negative J. She say negative J. Okay, most of you say it's negative J. Let's see whether it's correct or not. Okay, I2K, right? I2K, you start from I to K, right? And you use your forefinger, right? Your forefinger from I to K, right? In this direction, I to K in this direction, and you'll find that it's going to be I to K, right? And it's in the opposite way, right? In the opposite way. So we have we're gonna have the I to K, right? So it's negative J, but in the opposite direction. If you are in Zoom and don't know, you start from I, you curl your four fingers to K, and your thumb direction is gonna point in this way, right? So it's in the opposite direction to unit vector J. So it's negative J as the answer. Okay, so yeah, so this one is correct. And if you wanna see it in determinant form, I to K, I cross K could be written as determinant, right? The first row we have unit vector I, the second one unit vector J, and the third one unit vector K. And the first vector will give us the second row, right? I will be represented by 1, 0, 0, and the second vector, which is vector k, will be represented by 0, 0, 1, right? 0, 0, 1. So we write out 0, 0, 1. And after that, you could compute, right? I01, it will bring you 0, right? Because we have 1, 0. J00 is going to give you also 0. K10 will give you 0, right? It's nothing. Now it's time to go up, right? 00K is nothing, right? 00I is nothing. But if you go up, right, the last one, 1J will give you J. But once we go up, right, it's going to be negative. So we have negative J here. All right. So this one is correct. Let's talk about the seventh problem, I cross I. I cross I, right? The seventh problem, I cross I, and what is that? What is the answer to this one? What do you think then? คิดว่าจะเป็นอะไรครับ I cross I ครับ I cross I, what do you think? What should it be? I cross I. อลิสาทองสุข message retracted ก็คือ I เหรอหรือว่ากลัวผิดหรือว่ายังไงเลยไม่ตอบ What do you think? I cross I 0 from การชนกอ้อม การชนกอ้อม say การชนกอ้อม say 0 any other idea นัฐกิจว่าไงที่ Steam Lab หรือว่าชนพรที่ OBS1 ที่ซูมคนอยู่เพียบมีธัญญานันท์นะครับธัญญานันท์say 0 any other idea do this มีครับคนอื่นคิดว่าตอบเป็นแบบอื่น any other idea to this นัฐกิจ also say 0 ชนพร too so you have passed the basic mathematics subject of the university, right? So Varanya 0, Kanchanok 0, Satita 2, right? Many people Varanya say 0. Satita also say 0, right? So let's see what really makes sense, whether it's 0 or not. Let's take a look at the Cartesian coordinate. I cross I, right? You start from I, but you don't rotate anything anymore, right? Just fix it. There is nothing happening. But once there is nothing happening, it means we got 0 actually. So that's the result from the right-hand rule. But from the determinant, okay, determinant, it's not difficult. From the determinant, I cross I, right? I cross I is going to be, yes, of course, you start from unit vector I, unit vector j, and unit vector k. All right, and I is I will denote it by 1 0 0, right? So we're gonna write down 1 0 0. That's the first I. Okay, the first I here. And for the second I, we will write down the description of this vector. So it's still the same I, right? So it's 1 0 0. So we write down here 1 0 0. Okay, and you can make the computation. All right, computation. 1 0 0 is going to remain 0. J 0 1, so it will give you 0 again. J 0 1. K 1 0. K 1 0 will give you K 1 0 will give you 0. Now it's time to go up, right? Go up and write 1 0 K will give you 0. 0 0 I will give you also 0. 0 1 J will give you 0. Oh my god, 6 times, right? They all give us 0. There's nothing happening, right? So yeah, it's all equal to 0. This one is equal to 0, right? And all of you are correct. Okay, and now it's time to move to the 8th problem. 8th problem would say, what is the result from J cross J? What is that? อันนี้ว่าไงครับ J cross J จริงไปเร็วๆก็ได้มั้งเพราะว่าไม่น่ามีอะไรมากมันง่ายไหมครับง่ายเนาะ right it's not difficult at all, right? And yeah, this one is J cross J, right? with โอ้ธัญนันท์มีอลิสาด้วยนะตอบมา0นะครับ with วิธิธาปักศรีวิทย์ผมมองไม่ค่อยเห็นครับเดี๋ยวที่ซูมมีคนตอบด้วยปกติวิทย์ปักศรีตอบ0วิธิตาปักศรีตอบ0นะครับโอเคข้อนี้ this เพิ่งเห็นนะครับขออภัยด้วยนะครับที่ซูมนะครับวิธิตาปักศรีวิธิตาPaxi say 0 and Tanyanan too. Tanyanan also say 0. Who else? ชนาพรก็ด้วยนะครับชนาพร also say 0. And who else? นัฐกิจยังไม่ได้ดูคนที่อยู่ในซูมนะครับดูที่พวก YouTube อยู่นะครับนัฐกิจ also say 0 and for the people in อาจารย์และเพื่อนเข้าซูมหน่อยค่ะ direction Nachricht โอเคครับโอเคลิซ่านะครับโอเคyeah good notes yeah most of you like การชนกสถิตาครับการชนกalso say 0 and สถิตาครับสถิตา also say 0 who else ไม่มีนะไม่มีคนต่อนะประมาณนี้ so yeah it's the same thing once you consider the Cartesian coordinate you start from unit vector j to nothing, right? Because j to j you don't move your finger at all, so your time direction will not take place. Okay, will have nothing. So that's what happened. So this will result in 0 But if you want to see real determinant, I can write down it for you. J cross J will be unit vector I, unit vector J, unit vector K, and R. Yes, of course, you have J and J, right? J, so J would be described by 0, 1, 0, right? And the J, the second J will be also described by 0, 1, 0. So you would have also here 0, 1, 0, right? And after you make the multiplication, you will find that there's nothing happening to this vector because it's rank 1 matrix. So the result will turn out to be 0, right? So yeah, that's it. Understand it? Okay, อลิสาด้วยนะครับอลิสาก็ตอบว่าอลิสาก็ตอบเหมือนกันครับว่าAlisa also say 0 like that. So let's arrive at the last one, K cos K, the last problem here. This is the 8th problem, right? We arrive at the last one. The 8th problem, oh sorry, the 9th problem, K cross K. And what is that? Right. K cross K, you may easily understand tangent say 0. Right. Yeah. Who else? Tangent ตอบข้อที่แล้วใช่ไหมที่9 K cos K นะครับ What do you think then K cross K to this scenario? โอ้ยออกนี่ครับนี่โอเคเอามาใส่ที่หน้าอกเราดีกว่านะครับจะได้แรงๆ All right okay K cos K ผมว่าที่เดิมK K cross K in this scenario what do you think then K cross K มาแล้วอาริสาแพร0นะครับการชนก0นะครับสถิตา0แล้วก็อาริสา0โอเคอาริสาแพร0นะครับ and ที่ชนาพรนะครับ okay in this problem let's use different color เขียวแก่บ้าง here we have 0 from การชนกsay 0 and who else สถิตาalso say 0 and Alisa ถ้าผมเขียนผิดขออภัยด้วยนะเหมือนชื่อเหมือนหลานผมเลยลูกพี่ชายนะอลิสา okay 0 and ชนพรalso 0 and นัฐกิจ2 นัฐกิจ say 0 who else สุวิชาสุวิชา say also 0 right who else nothing more right yeah yes of course from the right hand rule you find you start from K and you don't move at all right so it's gonna remain 0 and if you want to use the determinant yes of course we could start it we have unit vector I, unit vector J, unit vector K, right? And for the first vector, we have K, right? K is denoted by 0, 0, 1. And this vector, the second vector K, is going to be, oh, I'm sorry for that. It should be tau 0, 0, 1, right? And this one will be again 0, 0, 1. And once you find the combination here, okay, you find nothing, or will bring you to 0. So this one will give you 0. All right. Okay, we finished it. All 9 problems about Ali สาขาขออภัยครับ Okay, sorry for that. ขออภัยด้วยครับรอเรือนะครับ ใช่ เขาเขียนรอเรือมา ผมยังไม่เขียน L เชเลย sorry for that stupid. Okay. Lisa here too. Okay. All right. There's nothing more. Okay. Yeah. That's the whole thing for all 9 problems in unit vector cross product, right? The cross product of any 2 unit vectors. All right. Now let's move to another one, right? Another page on this. That's the magnitude of a cross product. Okay. Once you have 2 vectors in terms of cross product, and if you want to find the magnitude in vector form is given by the norm operator, right? This one is norm operator. Norm is like magnitude, right? It's like absolute value for you. Norm operator. Okay, that's the norm. You just use and leave the norm onto the cross product of 2 vectors. If theta is the angle between 2 non-zero vectors, v and w, okay, if theta is the angle between these 2 vectors in R3 in the Cartesian coordinate, and the length, the magnitude of the result from v cross w is given by the norm. Okay, the length is the norm, actually is the distance after the cross product of these 2 vectors, and it's going to be equal to norm of the first vector, norm of the second vector, and psi, you know psi function, right? Sinusoidal function, psi of the angle between vector v and vector w. Okay, so theta is the angle between vector v vector v and vector w. So that's the angle between vector v and vector w. Okay, that's the theta. Let v be any vectors in R3, w be another vector in R3 in Cartesian coordinate, right? And that's the magnitude, right? Here, if you have a triangle that consists of vector v and vector w, right? In an angle theta is the angle between vector w in the blue one here, and w is the vector in the magenta or in the pink color here. Okay, วันวิสาขาก็ตอบด้วยนะ0ขออภัยเดี๋ยวเขียนให้นะครับว่าเขาก็ตอบด้วยนะเขาก็ตรงนี้นะครับวิประมาณนี้นะสาขา zero alright เพิ่งเห็นนะครับอริสาขา okay we laugh at this topic this is the 2D okay 2D view two-dimensional view vector v and vector w the angle between v and w is theta right in what else v and w in three-dimensional system if you want to find the height okay this is the height it will make the right triangle this is the 90 degree right 90 degree between vector v and vector w so what should it be then you will find that the vector v and w and that is theta okay between them here is theta and of course the height will be the projection in the opposite way in the right triangle here is the right triangle right so height could be found from the length or the magnitude of this vector or vector w and we project it onto this vertical line right so it's going to be sine theta right yeah because sine theta is the distance okay this is height okay which is not known yet but anyway we know that sine theta is the ratio between h by norm w right norm of the vector w so yeah h okay you could find h in terms of both value as norm of the vector w and sine theta right so h could be found from norm of this vector times sine theta because from Pythagoras the right triangle is the sine of this angle inside the right triangle will be the ratio between the length of this one which is h divided by the length of this side which is the norm of the vector w so we get h equal to that norm w times sine theta all right I hope it's not so difficult to you right and let's go ahead with that what is the benefit once you know the height from this vector you can find the area of a triangle with adjacent sides v and w from 1/2 norm of v cross w and you could find the area of